Hi, welcome to Sugar Free. This is an all signs reading. I'm just getting my chair sorted out. All signs reading for the full moon in Aries coming up on the 29th of September. All signs, general look at the energies. So here I have the minor arcana of the Rider-Waite split into its suits. Here I have the lovely ancient Italian tarot, and this is the major arcana only. So I like to use these two decks in conjunction. What I do is I pull 3 cards from the major arcana, and then I clarify each of those 3 cards with one from each suit of the minor arcana. That's how I like to do it. So I'll just give this another little shuffle for you for your reassurance. All of this is shuffled as well. And it's very interesting. There are certain cards that have not come up for flipping ages, and other cards that have been coming up a lot for a little while now. So let's see what happens with that in the context of this reading. There's one particular card, and if I remember, at the end of the reading, I'll tell you whether it came up or not. But there's one particular card that has been very absent from the certainly from the major arcana part of these readings. So let's see. Right, the first card I pull is going to be the immediate energetic environment. The second card I pull is the hidden energy, the veil, what is not seen or not acknowledged. And the third card I pull is the kind of karmic potential, the wider view. The system I learned for this calls the third one things as they really are. Okay, so let's get on and do this. One last shuffle. Oops. And one last cut. Right, 3 major arcana coming up for you, dear viewer, dear listener. Here we go. Okay, we've got the Lovers in the reverse. We've got the Moon. Well, no wonder it's in the reverse. Okay, because we've got the Moon. And we've got the Fool in the reverse. Okay. Right, well, this is a bit gloopy. I've got to tell you, it's a little bit gloopy. I mean, I said this is a reading for the full moon, and there it is, but it's in the hidden energy. Okay. Oh dear, oh dear. There's stuckness here and there's stuckness here, but different types of stuckness, of course. Now, the tarot used to be called the Oracle of Change, and the Lover's card is a very, very kind of subtle and complex type of change, like what's depicted here. We've got a paradigm shift going on here. We've got the figure in the middle trying to choose between staying where he is as his mother's son, or booting himself into a new phase as this young lady's partner. Which one should he do? He can't have both. Okay, he can't have his cake and eat it. He can't have his tea with his mum whenever he wants to and expect her to stick around. Okay, it's just not going to happen. He's got to choose one way or the other. This used to be called the choice, but we can see, we know which way this is going to go because of this little figure up here. Eros, you know, the cherub of desire, known in Vedic and yogic lore as Kama, which is where Kama Sutra comes from. It's not the Kama Sutra, it's the Kama Sutra. And this is simply desire. That's it. That's all it is. It's desire. And, you know, we've all experienced it, I guess. You know, you're going about your business and you see someone or you see something and something just goes ping. I want. Oh, he won't do, won't do, won't do, won't do. Okay. Now, I watched a really interesting film from a yogi called Guru Pashupati here on YouTube, who very neatly explained the difference between lust and desire. And basically, desire is when you want something and you're prepared to put some work in to get it. Lust is when you just want it, and you know you're not actually interested in it. You're just interested in getting it. But desire is when you actually want to engage with the thing in itself. It's a subtle difference, but really, really interesting. So once this arrow finds its mark, we know what the upshot is going to be, and it's a paradigm shift, and the son becomes a husband. Okay, but not to the same woman. Okay, so it's in the reverse. So that makes it even, that's another layer of complexity on top of it. This is the energy as we come into the reading, the immediate energetic environment. So perhaps it's been difficult to choose between things, or kind of your sense of clarity, your clarity in terms of what you want is just like out of whack. There might have been multiple options, and you're just kind of standing a bit like with your head spinning in the middle of it all. And you've tried this one, it didn't work, so you put it down. You tried that one and it didn't work for you, so you've put it down. You tried that one and they rejected you, so you've put it down. And you're just like, oh my God, like, where am I going? My head's spinning. That's what I'm getting from this. This column here, this third card, as I said, was the things as they really are, the wider karmic sort of principle. And I'm a little bit kind of sad to see the Fool in reverse here, because, you know, it might be nice to start a new phase, a whole new phase, just you on your little lonesome out on the road with your stick for support to help you with gravity, and another stick with all your worldly possessions in it, off on a fresh adventure. But, you know, a new beginning presupposes that something previous has come to an end, because that's all there is in the universe, is endless recycling of energy. So we might get a clue about that when we engage with this middle column here, the moon, the hidden energy in the hidden energy position. All right. Things illuminated at one remove here, and your perception of what is in a kind of unstable, wishy-washy, tide going up, tide going down, and it's all a bit maddening. So we've got some, but this is nothing to do with a choice that anybody takes. This is, and perhaps this is as well, less so, I think, the Fool, but this is definitely about choice. So perhaps this kind of swimmy, weird, kind of everything a bit kind of floaty, but not in a particularly nice way. Perhaps it's less to do with you than you think. Let's have a look. I'm going to start clarifying now. So, what did I say? Well, I don't take reversals when I pull the minor arcana. Yeah, Two of Pentacles. Should I do this? Or should I do this? Or should I do this? But if I do this? But if I do this? Okay, there's just this sort of juggling energy. Okay, I'm just going to keep going. Before I say something rude about his hat. God, I don't believe it. We had this come up in this very same position in the reading I did most recently. Ace of Wands. There's a real something sort of cracking open here, or you're sort of wanting this kind of shilly-shallying like bullshit to come to an end. You want a clear result And the trouble with that is that the more you want it, wanting a clear result to this degree, in the context of the Lovers in reverse and the Two of Pentacles, it's sort of the wrong wish for this, because this really works. Ace of Wands energy really, really works when the way is clear and the thing to do just kind of ta-da, like manifests itself. But this is here with all this kind of like murky, wishy-washy, shilly-shally, uppy-downy, hotty-coldy, high-y, low-y kind of energy. And it's just like, oh God, I just want something solid. I want something solid. I mean, look at that. Flipping heck, you'd know if you were holding that, wouldn't you? I mean, you know, it's solid. But this really isn't. Let's keep going. This doesn't work when you're desperate for it. It doesn't work, and it never works. And one has to come to the end of a cycle. Let's see what transpires here before one can sort of learn that again. Because we all know that when you're scrabbling around trying to find the exact right thing, you're never going to find it. There's a kind of more haste, less speed energy out of this. All right, let's keep going. Ace of Swords. Oh, sorry, King of Swords. Holding the ace. What I'm getting from this straight away is a feeling of having been kind of sliced up a little bit, or perhaps cut down to size a little bit, and it don't feel good. Ten of Cups. Oh man, this is what you want. This is like happily ever after over the rainbow, but at the moment it just feels like you just can't get there. It's like one step forward, two steps back in this matter. And I do wonder whether this is actually to do with love. I mean, it's not for nothing that it's called the Lovers, even though it used to be called the Choice. And here we have them, you know, this is the destination, this is what you want. But perhaps there's been too much choice, and there's a kind of, I'm picking up fatigue off this. And the King of Swords today looks particularly stern. All right, I'm going to keep going. Hopefully this will all pull together into something like really coherent by the end of this reading. Right, Ten of Pentacles. We've gone from the Ten of Cups to the Ten of Pentacles. Every area of your life feels affected by this. And the kind of the drain on you of this is affecting work, family relationships, home life, your sense of your position in the world, what you have to offer, what you are deemed to be worth. It's not clear, and it's coming and going, it's ebbing and flowing. And it might not even be affecting what you're doing, but it's affecting how you interpret also what other people are doing. Because this is a card of the kind of multi-generational collective. This is a rich family who have worked for generations to establish themselves in this stability. I mean, look, even the doggies are there, you know. This is like a big win. Getting everything you want, basically. Okay, let's keep going. Oh, I don't believe it. She was there in that position as well. So I've shuffled. I sit here for ages, like watching stuff on YouTube, shuffling these cards. Queen of Wands. Right, hold on a sec. Sometimes I just go through and just pull it all out and then pull the whole thing together, which is clearly what I'm doing today. And usually this column is the most interesting, but I've got a really good feeling about this column today. Okay. I get the feeling of this Queen of Wands in the context of all this. There's so much. This is really choppy energy here. It's really choppy because there's this idea that if you just sit and wait, it will come to you. Like information will come to you, communication will come to you, ideas will come to you, messages will come to you. And then when they come, you don't want them. God almighty, it's all over the place. You don't want it. So what is this about? What is this for? If bottom line, underneath it all, you don't actually want it. I mean, this lady here, the Queen of Wands, does not get off her throne to call people. They come to her. And, you know, here it comes, like incoming communication, words and thoughts swiftly coming in, and then it's just like, no, you're all right, no thanks. And if this could be right, it would mean everything. 10 of Pentacles, it would mean everything. 10 of Cups. But by God, it's so stoppy-starty, choppy-changey, uppy-downy, lighty-darky. It's a bit of a mess, basically. Sorry. Right. Let's see if I can cheer this up a little bit. Oh, God, yeah, that'll cheer it up. 5 of Pentacles, out in the cold. Knight of Wands. All right. Something coming to the rescue. Oh, here she is. I was thinking about her when I was talking about the Queen of Wands. Queen of Swords. Oh, man. And the 8 of Cups. Right, listen, there's something to be left behind here. I'm really sorry. I don't think this is a particularly happy reading. I really don't. I'm so sorry. There's a wish here to be rescued. And that's what I'm getting that from the Knight of Wands here. For somebody to come charging in and kind of make everything all right. Because 5 of Pentacles here, it's a kind of poverty energy, like spiritual, emotional poverty, making you feel poor in so many ways. I'm going to have to pull something to sort of like cap this off overall. You know, the 8 of Cups is and look, there's the moon. So a real movement away from something. However, and I hardly ever think this about the 8 of Cups, the person walking away there is not walking away into sort of destitution. That red robe and those red boots suggest money to me here, and wealth and establishment. This is a change of focus. It's not necessarily walking away from something that already exists. It's a shift of focus and a shifting away from this sort of, I want to hear from them, they've got to come to me, it means everything to me, but I don't want it. When it comes, it's so confusing, the energy here. And for the 5 of Pentacles and the 8 of Cups to be clarifying the Fool in reverse. You need to take charge of this situation. You need to take charge of this situation, and you need to become more, what would be the word? Uncompromising, I would say. Because, I mean, always say about the Queen of Swords is that she's negotiating, right? Because she's beckoning somebody. It's like, yeah, come here, let me hear what you have to say. And move closer so that you can hear what I'm saying. And if I don't like what you're saying, I'm going to just like chop it off, mate. Okay, but there's still some sort of movement here with the Queen of Swords. With the King of Swords, the word is final. He's already made his mind up. There's no negotiation here. He knows exactly what he thinks. And that's why I said in this column here, it feels like, you know, perhaps you've been cut down to size. The potential exists here. There's something you can learn about yourself in the context of this Five of Pentacles, because I think this Five of Pentacles is super important in this reading. The Five of Pentacles is the sort of out in the cold card. And that sense of being out in the cold and being an outsider and it not being appropriate for you to be inside, warm, safe, fed, that somehow, as Jude Fawley said in Thomas Hardy's Jude the Obscure, I am an outsider till the end of my days. It doesn't matter what you do, you never get to go in that church. But this is a way of seeing yourself. And if you see yourself in this way, of course this shit ain't going to work. Of course it's not going to work. That's what needs to be walked away from here. Because we've got real action here and kind of, well, just bloody successful action and kind of glorious action here. And we've got this uncompromising, you know, if I don't like what you say, I will cut it off kind of thing here. This is what needs to be shifted. This is the most important card in the reading, because it doesn't matter how wealthy you are. Okay, it doesn't matter how clever you are. It doesn't matter what you are able to build in the world in terms of what is potential, what is potentially possible for you. It doesn't matter how many options you consider. It doesn't matter how much you want this. None of that matters if this is what is kind of, if this is the basic position that you have about yourself, that you're out in the cold and no matter what you do, you don't get to go inside that church. That's what needs to be walked away from here. And that's what this moon gives you the opportunity to do. I mean, this is just a bit of a shitfest, I have to say. These two columns here. You know, things as you see them and the hidden energy. But this is also important. Why invite it in? Why sit there waiting for it when it means so much? You sit there waiting for it, wanting it to come in, and then you don't want it. Or a fear of it not wanting you. Man. And that's why the Fool's in reverse here. I mean, in a way, I have to say, I mean, sometimes, you know, the Fool is often seen as a really positive card and, you know, it's the start of a whole new cycle and la la la. Yeah, it is. You know, got a full moon. Start of a whole new cycle. Very nice. But he is the Fool. I've got to say. I mean, he's clearly cocked something up because he's got that M stitched to his back, which is what they used to put on, sew onto the clothes of people who'd like effed up some way. in some way and been booted out of their village to like wander around in exile and banishment for however long. So he cocked something up. So in a way, I'm glad he's in the reverse. You know, perhaps there's a bit more wisdom coming here. Sorry, guys, not particularly happy reading. I'm so harsh. I don't know for the life of me why that would make me laugh. That's a very bad sign, isn't it? Right, I'm grabbing an oracle deck here. I'm going to pull one from The Wild Unknown Archetypes by Kim Krantz. Right, this is a bit of a job to get into, so you'll have to bear with me while I'm kind of getting all the kit out. So we've got the lovely book, which I don't look at. People go to all the trouble of writing these like interpretation books. These cards, I don't even bother looking at them. Right, and here's the lovely deck. Look at that. Look at that. Right, let's open it. Now, at the bottom, we've got Anima Mundi, the world is alive. Okay, the world as a living organism and the universe as a living organism. Bigger picture. Bigger picture. Okay, that's at the bottom of the deck. So I'm just going to open the deck at random. My hands aren't big enough to sort of shuffle these cards properly. Oh my God. There we go. The Eternal Child. Oh. Yeah. The Eternal Child. Perhaps you got used to sort of being, I don't know, told to stand outside in the rain when you'd been naughty, or when it was deemed that you'd been naughty. There's something, I mean, obviously very childlike here. And it does link back to this Five of Pentacles. It's those early experiences of being deemed unworthy. All right? That's the big picture here. And I mean, if you've been through something like that, and to some extent we've all been through something like that, you know, the very fact that we've incarnated into human form shows that there has been, like I said about the Fool, some stuff's gone down in previous incarnations that has seen us make this return visit with karmic fish to fry. And I mean, I remember being made to feel unworthy as a child, and it really, really does stay with you. It really stays with you. But I also remember, and I don't know why, but this is coming through really strongly for me in this reading with this card. I also remember knowing, really, really knowing that it was wrong. Okay? It was wrong. But as a child, one has to sort of bow down to this stuff. You have to go along with what you're being told about yourself, because the people telling you that about yourself are the very same ones protecting and feeding you. And it creates this kind of very deep-rooted contradiction right down in the sacral chakra. You know, the root chakra is concerned with getting fed and being sort of physically safe and physically alive. And the sacral chakra is about the very the blueprints of our emotional functioning. So whatever this is goes right back to the beginning. And I mean, to a certain extent and in some ways, healing from that stuff is about acknowledging not just the fact that you were hurt when you were told that you were not worthy, but there's a kind of double twist on it, because not only were you told you were not worthy, but you knew deep down that that was a crock of shit. And then you had to jump through all the hoops that you had to jump through to accommodate that crock of shit, because you had no, there was nowhere else to go. You couldn't grab at the age of like 6. You can't grab like your bank card, your phone and your car keys and like piss off to a hotel. You can't do it. You're stuck. And it's like in Buddhism, they talk about suffering and the suffering of suffering. So, it's not just that, as I say, that these things are said. It's knowing that they're not true. That adds another kind of twist to the whole thing. So there's something here that roots right back into childhood and kind of blocks progress. And like I said, it's this 5 of Pentacles thing. Where do people get the idea that in their hunger and their physical pain and their illness, that they are not worthy of being cared for? Where do people get that idea? That's where they get that idea. I'm going to pull a Buddhist prayer oracle thing. I've got this lovely deck. The Buddhist prayer deck. So I'm just going to pull one of these at random and see if there's something in here for us to sort of think about. I mean, I am a Buddhist, in case you didn't know. Right. I happen to look at the one at the bottom of the deck. And we're going with this. Okay. Within our impure mind, the pure mind is to be found. So within this kind of rather tangled up energy, and I'm glad to see that it ends with 8 of Cups. I'm really glad to see, and there's a good reason why the Fool is on his head here, because there's work to be done here. Basically, there's inner child work to be done, and all we have is what we are. That's all we have. We can't become someone else. We can't go back and sort of have things run differently so that everything's okay now. It is what it is, what it is. And that includes the impure mind. Now, I'm not going to go into a great big treatise of sort of trying to interpret the matter of impurity and purity. But what I'm getting from this is that what you seek is already within you. But there's a journey to be gone on here, and it's an emotional journey. Because to move from the 10 of Cups to the 4 of Cups, sometimes we get to the point where with physical hunger, where we're so hungry that even when some food is put in front of us, we just don't want it. The stomach can just shut down. The whole system can just shut down. You just don't want it. By the same token, sometimes we get so tired, and we are so wired with exhaustion that we can't sleep. And that's what I'm getting off this. There's something in the roots, the emotional roots here, that is a really, really, really important element of this journey. And there is a journey here. That's a journey. God, hold on, I'm getting too vague. Sorry, I'm going to try and really, really, really crystallize this. You already have what you wish to get from another or from others. You've already got it. It's already there. And it always was. You don't need to change. What you need is, and I really feel weird saying this, to find yourself. And that's the energy that opens up here in this full moon reading. Within our impure mind, the pure mind is to be found. That's very interesting that we have the possessive here and simply the definite article here. Our impure mind. That's about us as an individual. The pure mind is to be found. That is something that is not connected or attached to any particular individual. But it's this definite article here, the pure mind, exists already within us. So go and find it. Now, who said that? Oh, God. Dajan Huen. Oh, right. Huen. I'm really sorry. That's really bad. I can't pronounce that. It's a Chinese name. This person lived from 638 to 7. So, 2,000 years ago. There we go. They already knew. They've always known. Right. Well, happy holiday here. Happy journey. I mean, it's not starting off in a great kind of mood from this, but there's a journey to be taken here. Right back to this. Right, I'm going to leave that there. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.